Tuesday, March 17th. You're watching the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Betting Network, presented by our good friends over at FanDuel. I'm your host for today, Jason Cooper, alongside my producer.
What's up, Jay?
Mike Bennett for the next hour and a bit. And we got a great show for you today. Excited to get into things. We saw a lot of fun things last night. A lot of fun things. This Venezuela team is just like on fire. Comeback victories left, right, center. Beat Japan, beat Italy. Italy's no slouch. I was rooting for them. I had my little bit of espresso at night, which is why I'm a little sleep deprived this morning. But got a great show for you today. We're going to talk about the World Baseball Classic. The finals tonight, Venezuela against the USA. That's going to close out the show with Anthony Dabbundo. Off the hop, at the start of the show, we got Matt Winick coming on, breaking down March Madness. Excited to get into that as well. Matt sort of talked us through his process on Friday of what he does on Selection Sunday. He says he sits in front of the screen, watches the bracket get revealed, and he writes notes. He writes his initial notes because when you're knee deep in the weeds here, you can get a little bit too far. So I want to get his initial reactions. I want to get to that notebook, see what he wrote down.
I wonder if his notebook is like GRP size.
I'm curious. Maybe he has the same type of GRP style notebook.
Honestly, yeah.
We'll have to ask him that. We'll have to ask him that when he gets on the show. But yeah, want to get his initial reactions because, you can get a little bit in the weeds here. Then I'm going to play a game. It's a fun game here. Trends, they don't really matter, but there's a ton of March Madness trends that I've been hearing about all year. All week for the past couple days. So we're going to talk a little bit about those trends. He's going to tell me if he thinks they're real, if they're valid for this year in particular. Because guess what? I know 12 seeds like to beat 5 seeds, but the batch of 12 seeds this year, they're different than the batch of 12 seeds last year. The batch of 5 seeds this year, different than the batch of 5 seeds last year. Everything's changing. These trends don't really matter, but I want to get his opinions on that. And then finally, of course, we got Edgework coming on. Edgework overtime in the middle of the show. So second period Edgework, is that what we're going to call it?
Yeah, I saw that like last night when I was looking through notes, and I was like, are we going to be able to keep like this train on the tracks like on time? I don't know.
I definitely will be. Don't worry. It's
and
always,
then also Jalen Waddle.
Oh my God, yeah, I forgot about that. Jalen Waddle traded to the Broncos. Did I read that the Miami Dolphins have like $186 million in dead cap space? That is insane.
Yeah, that's insane.
That is absolutely insane.
George in the chat.
George is going nuts.
Dolphins taking.
Get on here. Who are you taking? That's the problem. Who are you taking for? Yeah. Arch?
I don't know, Jim. As well
should be interesting. Anyways, before we get into our first guest, before we bring on Matt, just a quick reminder about our friends over at BetStamp Pro. March Madness means 60-plus games in 2 weeks. Non-stop line movement, massive public betting action, and tons of live betting opportunity. The team at BetStamp has spent over a year building and testing a new live odds screen for both main markets and props. Watch the entire market move in real time with sub-second latency and back-tested true lines so you can attack off-market edges instantly. They've actually been using this tool internally for over a year, and they're launching it publicly for the first time during the tournament. Scan the QR code on screen, click the link in the description, or head to betstamp.com/hammer to book a quick call and get set up before the tournament gets underway. I gotta talk to the BetStamp guys. I need to get access to this tool ASAP. I need this tool ASAP. I'm really
maybe make the ad read a little bit easier for you, Jay.
No, it's I know it's a great product. I've heard them talk about it in their office over there. Some friends with some guys who work there, but I need to get access to this ASAP. I love betting live on March Madness. I also like betting before the games too.
Honestly, who doesn't?
I know, it's great stuff. And the guy who's going to help us guide us through this March, through the end of March, is Matt Winick. He's a college basketball analyst and consultant. Does content at the basket under review. Matt, how's it going?
I always forget how busy these days between Selection Sunday and the tournament are. It's like, oh no basketball, no big deal. It's just, oh my gosh, so much.
I'm praying. Last time I saw you, I'm like, please get some sleep. Were you able to get some sleep? Or no, it's just been.
Yes, I took your advice on your Twitter video yesterday, and I took the night last night, and I took advantage of the fact there was no basketball on.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate that you took my advice. I guess that means you were like me in the single camp. You weren't making dinner for your other. It's just you were looking out for yourself.
Sure.
It's complicated. Oh my God, we're not gonna. Okay, we won't get into this.
If you feel better, I'll say sure. We're in the same boat. But.
We're not going to get into this on air then. All right, all good. I mean, where do we even start for today? I think what I want to do is get your initial notes, because you told me on Friday your Sunday process is, you know what, you sit down, pen and paper, you make notes as things go on. So I want to hear your initial notes for each and initial thoughts for each corner of the bracket. But before we do that, we got some like pretty crazy news yesterday with regards to Alabama. I believe it's Aiden Holloway. He was removed from campus after this massive drug arrest. I feel like that's the biggest story right now and the biggest question mark up in the air. Any information? How does this affect things? Talk us through this quickly.
Alabama is not as good offensively without Aiden Holloway. He's their second best scorer, but he's their best shooter. And that's really important in this matchup with Hofstra, who's an unbelievable rim defense. So Alabama, their whole thing was they're going to just take a million threes, and it doesn't matter how good Hofstra's rim defense is now. You take away their best three-point shooter, and things are a little bit more iffy. I still think they win this game, but it definitely has an impact.
All right, let's stick with the Alabama side of the bracket here and talk through the Midwest first. So we're gonna use the ESPN bracket. We're gonna go counterclockwise because I'm Italian. So we're gonna go Midwest, South. I'm at the bottom. Sorry, we're gonna go clockwise. Midwest, South, East, and then West. So we're gonna start with the Midwest here. Your initial reactions when you saw the tournament, the Selection Sunday live. Talk us through the Midwest here.
Viewing perspective, watch Georgia and St. Louis. It's going to be the most fun matchup of the first couple of days. Georgia's the most athletic team in the country. They have the most dunks. St. Louis might be the least athletic team in the field. They're not very athletic. It's just a fascinating contrast of basketball. It's what makes March Madness so fun. A lot of really good shooting teams, a lot of really good guards. And then Iowa State, basically in a collision course for Michigan. I would be pretty surprised if it's not a Michigan-Iowa State Elite Eight matchup to get to the Final Four. All
right, Michigan, Iowa State matchup. It is in the Midwest, helping out the people filling out their brackets. Let's look at the South now. Initial thoughts from the South.
The South should be pretty interesting. I don't think we're going to get any upsets. I think the better teams all have good matchups. If we're getting an upset, it would be Texas A&M over St. Mary's in the 10-7 game. I think Illinois is going to win this bracket. I think that they're a really good matchup for Houston. Houston loves to pressure you, but Illinois is a really good passing group, especially with their bigs, which is it's easy to pass out of those doubles, especially because Illinois is so tall they can see over the defense. If we get Florida and Illinois in the Elite Eight, I think that Illinois has the much better backcourt. We've talked about Florida's guards having issues all year. So my pick right now is the number 3 seed Illinois to come out of this group.
All right, number 3 seed Illinois to come out of that group. Let's go to the East. This is I'm calling it the People's Division. I don't know if I'm allowed to call it that, but there's so many blue bloods in here. I was talking to some friends about it last night. And we did a little Calcutta, and we had a blue blood section. And we're like, the guy who loves college football ended up taking those groups of teams. It's like, I know they're good college football teams, so they got to be good in basketball too, right? Probably not. Anyways, talk us through the East.
I think we're only getting one double-digit seed to the Sweet 16 this year, and I think it's in this bracket. I think it's going to be South Florida. They'll probably take down Louisville unless Louisville has a really good shooting game. Their point guard, Mikal Brown, is hurt. And then they'll probably get Michigan State. South Florida's really physical. They're physical enough to bang down low with Michigan State, and Michigan State turns it over too much. South Florida loves to pressure the ball. They're going to be all over Jeremy Fears, and Michigan State has no secondary ball handler option. So I think South Florida makes a Cinderella, quote-unquote Cinderella. They're still a really good team, top 50 in KenPom, but I think they're the Cinderella Sweet 16 team. That said, I think it's probably still Duke out of this region unless they really feel the absence of Caleb Foster and if Pat Gongba can't come back.
All right, and then let's close things out with the West here. Talk us through the West.
This is Arizona. Arizona's going to run through this bracket. I think Purdue falls early. A lot of people have a lot of love for Purdue because they won the Big Ten tournament. They had a pretty easy draw till the finals, and then Michigan played one of their worst games of the year. I wouldn't even be surprised if Purdue loses in the second round to the winner of Miami, Florida, and Missouri. So Arizona's probably not going to see Purdue. If they do get Gonzaga, they're just a better version of Gonzaga. I think Arizona walks to the Final Four.
All right, quickly, have you filled out your bracket already? When is it time for you to fill out the bracket?
I will probably fill it out Thursday morning for sure. I'll get started tomorrow. I haven't clicked the button yet today. I'm not in any groups. I haven't done anything yet. I'm going matchup by matchup in the first round. and then I'll kind of break it down from there. Even though I never win, I take it way too seriously.
I think everyone does. I think everyone tries to take it too seriously. I'm seeing some crazy contests out there, $1 billion for a perfect bracket. So if you can do it, congratulations to you. So we went through every corner of the bracket. You talked us through, gave us your initial thoughts. There's some things that I want to talk about, some trends, right? Because I feel like when March Madness comes around, first of all, everyone's a college basketball expert. And second of all, everyone loves talking about their trends. So I have a couple trends, one from each round that I want to talk about with you. You're going to give me an over and under on the number I give you, and you're going to give me your confidence interval on it. And if you want, give me a team that you think could fit the mold, all right? So let's go through these ones right here. At least one top 4 seed has lost in the first round in 15 of the past 17 tournaments. Over or under 0.5 losses for a top 4 seed?
Under. Top 4 seed is not losing. The 13s are a little bit weak this year compared to usual. The top of the sport is far above the bottom. And also, and this is something I've seen a lot of people say, which I think is very true, the additional analytics and metrics that the selection committee has that they didn't have 5-10 years ago, they've seeded teams very correctly. Like the top 5 seeds are all the top 25 teams in Ken Pom. It's very much correlated, the best actual on paper teams and the right seeds. So I don't think any of the top 4 seeds are primed for an upset in the first round.
All right, so we're taking the under 0.5 losses for a top 4 seed. And I think also a little bit, listen, you're the expert here, not me, but the transfer portal probably has a lot to do with that as well. NIL money has a lot to do with that as well. With a lot of the talk in my friend groups is that just looking at the odds boards, this is a top-heavy tournament. Very, very top-heavy. Maybe we can see some teams. I was
going to ask you a question when I was answering this. How many teams, there's 365 teams in the country. How many do you think return over half of their minutes from last year?
Oh, gosh. I would have no idea.
22.
That's crazy.
22 out of 365 have returned half of their minutes from last year. So how are we supposed to see these trends? And even from last year or in previous years, like, oh, yeah, obviously. Everything's different. I'm seeing teams like, well, this team is 8-2 against the spread in their last 10 tournament games, but none of the players are the same. So who cares?
And maybe it's something in the water at these universities and colleges. That's what it is. All right. This is the most popular one that I've seen everyone talk about. It's the 12 seed beating the 5 seeds. 12 seeds are batting 36% over these 5 seeds. Over or under 1.5 12 seed wins.
I put a stat out on Twitter yesterday that people seem to really enjoy with 5 seeds versus 12. And I'll give it to you quickly. All 5 seeds, all 4 of the 5 seeds are top 25 Ken Pom teams and are power conference teams. All of the 12 seeds are inside the top 100 and they're mid-major teams. So top 25 power conference teams versus top 100 mid-major teams. For top 25 Ken Pom teams against top 100 mid-major teams, this exact matchup in the regular season this year, the power conference top 25 teams are 12-0 with a 19-point per game winning margin. So it's not even close. They're winning by basically an average of 20 points when a top 25 team plays a top 100 mid-major team. It's not close. It's not comparable. These teams are not on the same stratosphere. I'd be surprised if we get one. We are definitely not getting 2.
It's funny because this weekend I was, out and about with some friends, and one of them mentioned to me, like, yeah, I'm going to be betting all the 12 seeds this weekend. And I'm like, listen, you probably shouldn't be doing that, but you do whatever you want. He's like, well, they're up if you've done it the last 20 years. I'm like, try to explain it to them. They never listen. Anyways.
There's the guy on Twitter that goes and he bets every single underdog in the first 2 days. The guy's going to lose so much money this year.
It's crazy because I remember he did it 2 years ago where it was like, okay, yeah, this actually would have worked this year. Did it last year and got absolutely crushed. Hopefully he doesn't get crushed too hard, but you kind of reap what you sow, right?
You shouldn't do it.
Exactly. There you go. All right. The next one I have here is at least one 11 seed has made it to the Sweet 16 over 8 of the past 11 tournaments. Over or under, over under 1.5 11 seeds to make the Sweet 16 because you already talked about South Florida.
Yeah, and I told you they were my only double-digit seed to make the Sweet 16, let alone an 11. No 10's going to make it either. It's just South Florida. We're going to get 1, and that's it. All right. And honestly, we might get none. I feel like I'm going out on a limb and saying South Florida will do it.
All right, I like that. Let's go to the next one I have here. At least 2 teams seeded 6 or worse have reached the Elite 8 in 7 of the past 9 tournaments. The highest seed in the Elite 8 will be over or under, or let's go higher or lower than 5.5.
Oh, that's a good one. I think it'll end up being lower than 5.5 just because the 6 seeds 6 seeds kind of stink. BYU can't play defense. Louisville, I already mentioned, I think they'll lose to South Florida. North Carolina's without their star Caleb Wilson, and then Tennessee, the other 6 seed, cannot score to save their lives. That makes me feel like it's going to be nothing below a 5 in the Elite Eight.
All right, last one I have here for us is only 3 times in the modern era have we had a Final Four without any number 1 seeds. Will there be over or under 1.5 number 1 seeds in the Final Four?
Over, for sure. I think Arizona's a lock, and there's no way that at least one of Florida, Michigan, and Duke doesn't make it.
All right,
we're going to get at least 2. Maybe not 4, but at least 2.
All right, if you feel like there was one number 1 seed to not make the Final Four, who would it be and why?
Well, Florida is by far the lowest power ranked of the 4, and they also have the best 2 and the best 3 seed, at least in terms of analytic metrics, in Houston and Illinois. So by far, in terms of odds and likelihood, it's easily Florida.
All right. Let's talk us through first 4. Are you betting anything you got for us here today in terms of the first 4? Any bets you got for us? Talk us through these games.
Let's do it. I think Howard's going to beat UMBC. UMBC is part of these are the 2 worst conferences in KenPom, the America East and the MEAC. But if you look at how Howard fared against their non-conference competition, they were way better against the spread and against KenPom projections than UMBC. UMBC's analytic value is basically all beating up on America East teams. And like I said, second worst league in the country. So I think Howard is just a way better basketball team at basically an even line. And then I also think that this other game, Texas and NC State, no defense will be played. People love unders in Dayton for the first 4, but no defense is going to be played. So I don't really care. I think the game's going to go over, and you're getting extra value points from what KenPom has it because people like Dayton unders. All
right, so that's for tonight's games. Anything you like for the Prairie View A&M Lehigh game? I got sold a pretty crazy story yesterday on the show from Matt Russell talking about Prairie View A&M, how their best player ended up getting injured, and then it seems like they played better without him. Are you a Prairie View A&M guy?
So when their best player got injured, they decided to also change their starting big man. And my favorite stat, I think, in the entire field of March Madness in the first round, this guy, their new starter, Corey Dunning at the 5, he's taken 22 combined field goals and free throws since he started starting the last 11 games, and he has 39 blocks and steals. So he has nearly double the amount of blocks and steals as field goal and free throw attempts combined. He just doesn't want to shoot, and he just gets a million steals and blocks. And they've gone from being an offensive team that loves to run to a defensive team that doesn't run because they have the best defender in their conference. So every under has been, I think they're like a 10-1 to the under in their last 11 games since he started. I see no reason why that won't happen again. It's way off of KenPom, and honestly, I don't care. I still think it's the right side.
All right, so we're going to take the under in the Prairie View Lehigh game, 143.5 minus 110. Miami, Ohio, SMU. Auburn was right there, but nope, they didn't want to give it to us for whatever reason. Miami, Ohio at plus 235. We kind of knew they were going to be underdogs coming into this game. Do you feel like this line is about right? Talk us through this one.
This is the one game of the tournament that I would much rather just not touch, sit on my hands and learn something about. Because I really think, like I told you, last week we were going to learn a lot if it was Miami, Ohio, and Auburn. And yeah, it's SMU, but it's still a power conference team that's super, super average against Miami, Ohio. And I really think that this is going to be a lesson to learn for moving forward in college basketball. If I were to make a bet, I'd say just throw a couple bucks on Miami, Ohio money line and hope the story continues because SMU might be without BJ Edwards, but on paper they should win.
All right. I feel like we're going to learn, like you said, we're learning a lot about Miami, Ohio tomorrow when they play this game. It seems like every time, it feels like all year, it's they're not going to be undefeated. They're not going to continue to do this. And then they just keep on doing it and then get bounced in the first round conference tournament. We'll see what happens there. Let's flip over, talk first round matchups. And give us the first slate, the first day of games, the Thursday. Your favorite game. Give me your favorite pick from the board if you have a favorite.
We're going to pick a favorite right now. I don't have one yet, but we're going to do it live as we speak. Illinois is going to absolutely annihilate Penn. That number's been moving a lot. It started at 22-ish, and then now it's at 24 and a half, 25, depending where you look. It's not as much value. They're still just going to absolutely blow the doors off of Penn. Another thing that I think I would really like is the Troy team total under. Nebraska's defense is horrible for what Troy wants to do. They're going to take 75% of their shots from three. They only have 2 guys on their team that can shoot threes, and Nebraska has enough time to scout and know that. I'd be very surprised if Troy tops 60 in this basketball game. And then I'll give you one more. I think Vanderbilt kills McNeese because McNeese is very dependent on getting steals, and they don't turn it over. So Vanderbilt against the spread, Illinois against the spread, and then Troy team total under.
Troy team total under. We know the formula for March is kind of like hit your shots, like shoot a lot of threes and hit your shots. Is there a team that profiles it's like, hey, if this team can get hot, they might go on a little bit of a run?
If we're talking upsets, the answer is Northern Iowa because they do a fantastic job defensively. They'd be the 3rd-ranked defense in the Big East. I say that because they're playing St. John's, who's in the Big East. So that's a pretty good defense. But they have to hit shots because they're not going to get to the free throw line. They're not going to get steals, and they're not going to get offensive rebounds. They're going to take 20 fewer shots than St. John's. So they're going to have to hit them. And if they do, they have a chance to beat a lot of teams because of how good they are defensively.
Of course, Northern Iowa, St. John's, Friday, 7:10 p.m. Eastern time. It sounds like a game you're going to want to be watching. All right, you told us your favorite games on Thursday. Talk me through your favorite games on Friday.
All right, we're going to get right after it again. Let's see. What do we have here? Purdue. Queens is allowed 94, 94, 111, 108, and 106 to the power conference teams they played this year. And Purdue is number 1 in adjusted offensive efficiency. So they're projected for 93 on KenPom. I don't see how they don't score 100 points. They're going to score 100 points. So if the line is under Purdue 100, which I'm imagining it is for team totals, they're going to score 100 points.
All right, Purdue team total over is what we're taking. Anything else you like in terms of Friday, or is that about it for now?
Let's find something else.
Yeah.
How about, I think Virginia is going to lay waste to Wright State. Wright State's a very solid team, but they're not spectacular. They're not athletic. They're not a heavy 3-point volume team like you just mentioned. And Virginia's huge. They beat the crap out of their inferior opponents this year, and Wright State very much fits the profile of a team that can't scale up. So in terms of analytic metrics, these teams aren't that far apart, but I think in terms of scheme and style, Virginia has a huge edge.
All right. Virginia, huge edge. We like that one. You also mentioned this Georgia St. Louis is a game to watch here. Any other games that you're circling that you're going to be sitting by your TV? I know you're going to be sitting by your TV for all the games, but any other game you're circling that the people must watch?
The biggest coin flip probably would either be Kentucky, Santa Clara, or UCF, UCLA. I'd say Kentucky and Santa Clara is probably a more interesting storyline and narrative. Kentucky, famously spent the most money in the country on their roster, and their roster is super average. And Santa Clara is just a lot of fun. They have an NBA draft prospect in Alan Graves. They weren't expected to be that good, and here they are as an at-large team in the NCAA tournament. So I would love to see Santa Clara pull that upset. I'm going to pick it. I would love to see it come to fruition. All
right, I'm excited to get this tournament started. 2 games tonight, 2 games tomorrow. Then we're diving headfirst Thursday and Friday. Matt, appreciate you joining the show. We'll chat soon.
Absolutely. Take it easy.
Awesome stuff there from Matt, as always. We got the Edgework boys coming up. Before we do that, do us a huge favor. Smash the like button. Goes a long way here on the channel. If you're new to the channel as well, hit that subscribe button. Drop a comment down below what you thought of that segment.
They're loving college basketball.
People love. Who doesn't love college basketball, especially this time of year?
You'd be crazy not to enjoy college basketball this time of year.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing the show live. There's gonna be games going on live. I'm gonna have to
we should.
Peek it in my pocket.
We should convince Rob do some watch-alongs.
If he wants to. I already made plans for the Thursday and Friday, so it might be a little tough for me. But
you're not a company man, eh?
Well, I mean, if I have more than 3 days notice, I'll do it. Sure, I'm curious if the chat wants to see it.
Yeah, if we did March Madness watch-along, why not?
Yeah, maybe. We'll talk about it behind
Sweat some bets.
Anyways, going to bring on the Edgework guys in just a sec. Before we do that, just a quick shout-out to our sponsors over at FanDuel. College basketball fans, it's time to dance. And the best place to parlay your bracket is FanDuel, because it doesn't matter if you're new to FanDuel or already have an account. FanDuel is giving all customers a bet reset when you parlay your bracket. That means you can combine your tournament bets from any round into a parlay, and if your bracket parlay doesn't hit, you'll get a bonus bet back. So don't miss your chance to dance this March. Just visit FanDuel.com/forwardproducts to get in on the tournament action. Visit FanDuel.com/forwardproducts to parlay your bracket with a bet reset. Go on a run this March. Play your game with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Must be 21 plus and select and present in select states. For Kansas and affiliation, Kansas Star Casino, 18 plus for present in DC, Kentucky, or Wyoming. Opt-in required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max refund $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply, including token expiration. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-MY-RESET. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/John, Connecticut. Visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org. Call 1-800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts. Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In New York, call 1-877-770-7867. All right. We got the Edgework guys.
Just loading them up.
In the background. So Money's fixing his hair. Looking great. As always. Oh, never mind. He put a hat on. Is this like a coordinated effort with the Montreal hats? I gotta ask these guys when they get on here. I got two guys behind the scenes wearing Montreal hats. What is going on here? Anyways, you guys know them. You somewhat enjoy them. It's the Edgework crew. Alex Moretto and So Money. How's it going, boys?
Good. Oh, So Money's muted. Welcome back, So Money.
My goodness. It's So Money is actually minus 1,000 to be muted every single show. Every single show. He still is.
I think it's part of the shtick now.
I think it's a bit. It's a bit, and he's
Yeah.
not willing to tell us that. Honestly, I can respect
Just
the
like
commitment.
our hats.
Yeah.
Am I good?
Yeah.
You're good.
Yep.
Great.
Better than ever.
All right. We got 9 games in the NHL today, but I have you guys for 20 minutes. I'll let you guys decide. How do we want to do this? Do we want to rapid fire every single game? Do we think we have the capability to rapid fire every single game on the board? We think we can. We think we can.
I think so. I don't have much today.
All right. Then there we go.
You're giving them an option. They're going to take it.
All right. Let's rapid fire every single game on the board here, starting with Boston and Montreal. Montreal right now minus 170 on the money line. Totals at 6.5 juice towards the under minus 120. Alex, we'll start with you. Anything you like?
No, this is lined pretty fairly. I think that's going to be a common theme today because you can see just from how quiet the market's been all day too. Like just not like a lot of things were set, I think, pretty fairly at open, and that's reflected in the lack of movement today. So yeah, I think this is fair. Huge game for the Habs. They need to win this one and get back on track. But I got nothing here.
All right, next game. So Money. Anything you like here? I'm just going to assume that he's out though.
No, nothing here from me either. Both teams are they're struggling a little bit, but Montreal is clearly the better team, and you got to put that premium on Montreal at home right now. So fair price, nothing from me.
All right, next game we got on the board is the Islanders taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Islanders right now at FanDuel minus 140 on the money line. Totals at 6 juice towards the under. Who knew? All the Leafs needed to do is lose their best player to start winning some games. That makes a lot of sense. So Money, we'll start with you. You were back in the Leafs earlier in the year. Kind of stayed off them over the past, 3 months? Are you back on the Leafs tonight?
No, not really. I do think that there's some value on Toronto, but it's not just because I come in lower on the Islanders anyways, but I don't think it's enough to warrant a play here at this number. So it's another game that I'll be passing.
All right, another game that you're passing on. Alex, anything you like in this one?
Same thing, going to be passing. Small lean to the over, but I think the price is generally fair. I just think both teams really struggling defensively right now. Don't trust, despite how good Mario Lemieux has looked there for the Leafs. Don't trust that offense to do their part. So I can't get there on the over.
Yeah, Matias Maccelli also turning into like Connor McDavid. He's got I think 5 of the last 8 first goal. He's scored the first goal in 5 of the last 8 games. I don't know where the hell that came from. Not qualifying him, by the way. That's interesting. Anyways, you know where I'm going to go in this one. Islanders, minus 1.5, plus 194 is the best price in the market. You're going to want to take that. Plus 166 at FanDuel. I would not take that. Look for that best price. But yeah, F them Leafs. Next game we got here is Carolina and Columbus. Oh, what was the head scratch? Is that why Alex scratching his head? You're like, why are you doing that?
No,
talking about you judging my bet?
Just literally the most mindless head scratch you've ever seen, Jason.
Okay. All right. I was just thumbs up or thumbs down.
Couldn't be less there.
All right. Anyways, Carolina, Columbus. Let's do it. Carolina minus 138 on the money line. Totals at 6.5, minus 122. What am I missing with this game tonight? Why is Carolina? Is this just like a ton of respect for the Columbus Blue Jackets in market here? Am I missing something, Alex?
Yeah, it is a lot of respect for Columbus. I wouldn't say it's not warranted. I think they've been playing pretty decent hockey. So money's Stanley Cup team right there, the Columbus Blue Jackets. I think there's not enough in it for me to get involved with Carolina either. I want to go a little pro bussy here, and I do kind of like the under. Not quite yet at this price. I hope that we can get some over money and I can get a little bit of a better number. If we can get like a 6.5 minus 110, I'm close to wanting to get involved in an under here. I think defensively, seeing some pretty good hockey from both of these teams as they start to tighten things up a little bit here. But again, not quite there yet at this price. So another one where I'm going to pass for now, but I'm definitely monitoring this one, especially with Greaves going again for Columbus.
Discord.gg/hammer. Jet Greaves 2026 this year? 2030 starting goalie for Team Canada. Book it. But maybe, hopefully. I don't know. We have no other hope. Anyways.
Yeah, very likely. Very possible.
So, Money, anything you like in this game?
Absolutely. I bet Columbus. Not much else for me to say besides I like the way that this team is playing. When they lose, they still get points. They've found a way to get points in games they probably shouldn't have, and they're winning games that they're finding ways to win. I think that there's a lot of good mojo with this team, and I'm going to keep riding it probably for the rest of the season. And as long as I keep seeing the plus money on them at home, I'm just got to keep betting it.
All right, the Somo Mojo casts his spell on the Columbus Blue Jackets and picks them to ride out into the sunset as this season closes out over the next couple of weeks. Next game we have, So Money, we'll lead with you. Nashville, Winnipeg minus 137 on the money line. Total is at 5.5, juice towards the over here. There's some sixes juiced under out there as well. Anything like here?
I really wanted Winnipeg to get back into the race here. I think that there was value on them to make the playoffs. Maybe they still can, I don't know. But in this game, it's hard for me to get behind this number, even though I do want to bet the Jets. It's just into the 130s now. I think that we are where we are. I do like the over 5.5. It's run a little bit right now, but I think if you can get up to minus 120, you probably can't. If it comes down and you can get up to minus 120, I think that that would be the way that I would be looking at this game.
All right. Looking for that number to come down there, hopefully. Alex, you agree with that?
I lean over, didn't bet it. Didn't bet anything here. I do agree on Winnipeg being a team I kind of want to bet. I thought there was a crazy overreaction to Comrie starting the other night against St. Louis on Sunday. So we ended up getting the Jets at plus money at home to the Blues. So it was nice to cash that one, but not able to get back on them at this price, even though Nashville has been kind of in the gutter again lately. They're really kind of in a tailspin, and it looks like their season is going down the drain here. But again, it's kind of priced in, so I think it's sort of fair. I lean over with So Money, but I didn't bet it. And Jason, I hope you go to this other game next because you did just skip it on the odds board. I can tell where you're following along, and you did skip a 7:30 game to go to this 8 o'clock game.
Yep.
There's on the move right now. So,
there's a reason why I skipped it. It's because I wanted you to lead with it. Minnesota and Chicago. Minnesota minus 182 on the money line has looked very flaccid as of late. Totals at 6, juice towards the under minus 122. Alex, go.
You're such a pro. I look at that. You had it all planned out, and I just ruined it here. Yeah, I like the under in this game. I bet the under. It is running. It's. I mean, there's still some minus 110 available. I think minus 115 is okay. That's definitely probably as far as I'd go though. But both teams really playing some good defensive hockey right now, and very, very light in what they can generate offensively. No Eriksson Ek, which obviously hurts Minnesota at both ends, but like really hard to see them getting much going here with that center depth. They have no center depth to begin with, and you take away their top guy, it gets ugly in a hurry. They have Urov playing 1C here, Hartman 2C, McCarron 3C. Like it's pretty rough. So really like this under. It is running a little bit, so I would definitely bet it now. I think this only goes one way.
All right, only goes one way here, and that's not up, that's down. Like I said, flaccid. So Money, anything you like in this game?
Yeah, I do agree with Alex on the under. I will. I'm joining him on that. Other than that, I think that yeah, Minnesota's priced where they should be, even with the recent struggles. I think that it is where it should be. But I do like Alex's under here though.
All right, Alex, and the under is what you're liking here. So money. I appreciate you being able to keep it together there. I had you for a second, but didn't break. True pro. Let's go to the next game here. San Jose Sharks taking on Edmonton. Edmonton minus 170 on the money line. Is Draisaitl playing in this game? Do we know if he's not playing? He's out for sure, right? Okay. All right. No Draisaitl today. McDavid had a few words for player safety. Very interesting stuff there. Totals at 7. Juice towards the under minus 132. So money. I'll let you lead. Talk us through this one.
Nothing. Probably some value on the Sharks, but yeah, I got nothing here, guys.
It's all right, because I feel like Alex might have something here. Alex, anything you like?
Yes, I do. I'm just actually adding more to this bet right now because I had an under 7 in this game. I bet the minus 122. I bet it in the minus 120, 122 range. I liked it a decent amount. I think, look, I understand that San Jose is getting a little bit back to playing that chaotic sort of pond hockey end-to-end stuff. Their games were pretty low event for a while, and I was betting a lot of their unders, and they've kind of trended back the other way. So I can understand this a little bit, but like Edmonton is very much tightening things up. They're playing much better defensive hockey. Whether or not they can get the saves obviously remains the question here. But I really like what they're doing defensively. And like, if you look at where this game was lined when these teams played not too long ago, now we've got no Draisaitl. I mean, it's just like there hasn't been enough of an adjustment on this total at all, in my opinion. So I bet the under 7, and I just saw a minus 110 that popped as well. So I'm adding and I'm betting more. Yeah, turns out this is I wouldn't say it's my favorite play of the day, but it's gonna end up being my biggest play of the day.
All right. If you like the Edmonton Oilers at minus 1.5, best price in market is available at FanDuel at plus 138. If you're looking at that, but if not, the under is out there from Alex as his not favorite but most bet play of the day. Most responsibly bet play of the day. 3 games left. 3 games left on the board. You guys know the drill. Do us a huge favor. Smash the like button. Goes a long way here on the channel. If you're new to the channel as well, hit the subscribe button. Comment below. Let us know what you think about the Edgeworth guys. If I had any funny jokes today, you let me know. Specifically reference them if they made you laugh. Vegas, Buffalo. Vegas minus 130 on the money line. Totals at 6.5, 110, both sides. Buffalo Sabres been red hot. Vegas, it's like 2 teams in 2 different directions, it feels like, but Vegas at home, they're the favorites. So money. I'll let you lead. Any opinions on this one?
I would love to get behind Vegas here, but I just can't get there with the number. I think that it did run a bit where it was earlier at minus 125. I think is where it should have been bet. I didn't bet it, so now I can't do anything.
All right. Alex, anything you like?
So money took the words right out of my mouth. I was talking to someone last night who lives in Vegas, and I was looking at the some of these, not openers, I would say, but like some of the lines last night late. And I said, and this person's going to the game tonight. And I was like, I can't wait to see what number we get on Vegas tomorrow because of how much the market has loved Buffalo. I'm like, we're going to get such a good number. I'm going to wait, going to bet them at 1 point tomorrow. Not sure when. And no Buffalo money came in. And now we've had some Vegas money come in. And now I've just missed the boat completely. I'm just not, I mean, there is still a minus 125 out there, which I don't mind. I really did think we were going to get better than that, though. If you have access to the minus 125, I think it's worth something of a slightly smaller play, just under a full play. But, just surprised by the way the market has gone. I think I was fully expecting Buffalo money given how these 2 teams have been bet recently. So that caught me off guard.
All right, we didn't get the Buffalo money we wanted. Can't get Vegas now. It's all right. We move on to the next game. Florida and Vancouver. Panthers right now minus 150 on the money line. Canucks. Anyways, totals at 6, minus 120 towards the under. Alex, I'll let you lead. And someone, you can just skip this. We don't have to talk about the Canucks if you don't want. Alex, go ahead.
I kind of wanted you to finish what you were going to say there. Seems like you had something queued up about the Canucks and you just held your tongue. I got nothing in this game. I liked the over at some of the early early numbers. There were like 5.5, -125s, plus money 6s at open, but it's kind of run a little bit, and this is not one I would go chasing. So I think everything where it's currently priced is fair. The under kind of takes some more money again. I can advocate for an over, but at current, I got nothing.
We're so close to that 6+ money, 6-102 at FanDuel, -102, right now at FanDuel. So maybe keep an eye on that. Maybe it ticks down throughout the day and you can get some plus money instead of chasing the -102 number. So money, I'll let you skip if you want to talk about the Canucks. You can just go skip and that's it.
Just a thought I had. I do like you do have to give Florida some credit here. They've been they haven't mailed it in. I don't think they're gonna make the playoffs, but they've still been playing. So credit to them, and that makes me think that whatever they want to do tonight, they'll be able to. The only team worse than the Kings right now is the Canucks.
All right.
Okay. The Kings are, how many games in a row have the Kings won here? Come on.
That one really caught me off guard. Florida Panthers, we kind of talked about
one game in a row for the record. I was sorely mistaken. The Kings have won one game in a row.
That's more than zero. Florida Panthers, we talked about their team total of 87.5, -111 right now. We talked about waiting a little bit, Alex. I don't know if you remember that last week. I'm trying to pull up their schedule on the fly here. Do we still would you be still willing to click that number? Are you getting a little nervous here? They're at 69 points right now in 66 games. Any opinion you guys have here on their under 87.5 points?
It looks like they don't really have the tank in them, and that's kind of enough to just
stay
not
away.
Make me here. Yeah, I just don't. I mean, I thought it was a really, really good bet when it was first brought up, and obviously, I mean, there's still time for them to go tank here, but like that time is winding down in a hurry, and with every kind of passing wind, it gets less and less likely that they're going to hit that under, or that you're just gonna, keep getting better numbers. So I don't know. Not one that I'm betting at this point.
All right. So money, any opinion here?
No, I agree with Alex here. I think that I did like it, assuming that they would shut it down and they would tank, but Alex is right. They just don't have that in them. They're win or lose, make the playoffs or not. They're gonna play to the end here.
All right. Let's move on to the last game we have on the board here. Tampa Bay and Seattle. I don't think any of us want to watch the Seattle Kraken in the playoffs, but they're like doing their best to try and. Oh, Alex, do you want to watch them in the playoffs?
No, the opposite.
Yeah, okay.
I never want to watch them again, even in the regular season.
All right. Tampa Bay and Seattle. Tampa Bay -196 on the money line. Totals at 6, juice towards the over -115. So, Manny, you like the Seattle Kraken team a lot. You want to watch them in the playoffs. Talk us through this game tonight.
I just like this the way that the team plays. I think that even their recent results have been against the Panthers and they beat up on the Canucks, but and they kind of struggle when they have to step up in class, which they are here. Nothing for tonight, but I like this team. I like the way that they've come along, and I think that the option of going down to Seattle, maybe not. Yeah, I like this team.
Wait. Are you saying like to go watch a game?
Yeah, I thought in the playoffs I might, but probably don't want to go right now. So
don't get your Canucks stench on this team just yet. If you want to watch them, wait until they're at least in the playoffs before they get swept. Alex, you can go ahead, talk us through this one. Anything you like, or that's it for you today?
I do like. This is when I thought we were doing the 3 bets thing. This is the one that I was going to send as a third. I just wanted to wait. That's why I didn't send it. I wanted to wait for some potential confirmation as to who was going to start for Tampa. We still haven't got that. And either way, I'll be betting it. It's just important to know who's starting, to know when to bet it. Because if we get Johansson here, then obviously we're going to get a better price on this under. If we get Vasilevsky, then go bet it, as soon as you get that confirmation. But 6+ money is widely available. This is 6.5 -120. I do like this under. I think Tampa getting on the road here should really kind of, I mean, they've been good defensively on the road. I don't know what happened to them this little last stretch at home where they were just leaking chances, leaking goals. They need to correct that in a hurry. I think they will. Getting back on the road should help that, especially against the Seattle team that, like, yeah, they've been playing a little bit better, but like they still suck. And I think that Tampa should be able to control this game. If we get Vasilevsky in net, hopefully a nice bounce back from him. If we get Johansson, then you know what? We've seen Tampa kind of change the way they play in front of him to shelter him a little bit more anyway. So I think that isn't the worst thing in the world, and we'll also just end up getting a better price on this under as well. So I do like this either way, but when I bet it is going to depend on what happens with this goaltending situation.
All right. Makes perfect sense there. Before you guys head out, quickly, I want to ask you guys about the Hart Trophy. I know it's basically McKinnon's locked up, but I was listening to 32 Thoughts, and Kyle on the show was talking about how if he were to write in his ballot today, because he does vote on the Hart, he said he would have a hard time not taking Macklin Celebrini. And he's focusing a lot on like the gap in points between him and I believe it's Will Smith with the second most points on the team. I mean, at plus 330, do you think that enough of the voting pool might think similarly to him? Also, we've seen like Nikita Kucherov snubbed over the past couple of years in the Hart race. I feel like he's also kind of drumming up some interest. So do you think that we could see like a Macklin Celebrini win? Would you be interested in clicking him at all at plus 330? Or is this like Nathan McKinnon's award, locked up, sealed shut? No point in even talking about it. Alex, I'll start with you.
I'm less interested in clicking them hit him at plus 330 because I've already got like some big Celebrini prices from earlier in the year. I wrote about that in the newsletter back in like November. So I would love to see that get home. I think that there's definitely I don't think it's a terrible price at 330. You need the Sharks to make the playoffs, and you need the Avs to lose the division. You need Dallas to catch them, which, like, the way the Avs are playing right now, and the way Dallas is playing right now, mind you, Dallas did lose last night to Utah. That didn't help, but I mean, Colorado also got waxed at home to the Penguins with still no Crosby. So, I mean, I think there's definitely a pathway to the Avs blowing this, and I think that would definitely hurt McKinnon's chances and really help Celebrities if he can get his team into the playoffs. So, like, there's a clear pathway to that happening. I don't see a clear pathway to Kucherov. Even if like Tampa wins the East, whatever, like I think that the credit will go elsewhere to Cooper or Vasilevsky. I think they're still pretty well represented in these awards markets that I don't quite think Kucherov will get there. So at current, it's Celebrini or nothing for me in terms of where I'd look to get involved. Yeah, no,
I sort of meant the Kucherov stuff as if like him taking away votes from McKinnon, maybe in that sense. I don't think that he'll come up and win. Plus that plus 490 doesn't feel right here. So any opinion on the Celebrini stuff?
I think it depends on how you want to classify the award, right? Like I think that if you're looking at it in terms of if you take this player off the team, then yeah, I mean, Celebrini would be the winner, and or not the winner, but like there'd be value on him. But I think that we're priced where we should be. I'm not going to say it's a lock for McKinnon, but I'm hard pressed to think that he would not be winning this.
Yeah, no. Maybe it's the path to take if you feel like the Avs are going to lose. Like if you think Celebrini is going to win, like you said, the Dallas Stars probably have to win their division. You can get Dallas Stars to win their division at 11-1. So maybe that's a little bit of a better bet in terms of the Celebrini stuff. If it's like a sort of analogous way to bet on the award here instead of that plus 330. Anyways. Boys, appreciate it. That wraps up Edgework.
Thank you.
Talk to you guys on Thursday.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Awesome stuff there, guys. See you.
See you.
Great stuff there from the boys. As always, Alex was like looking at me like something was wrong. Alex always is like...
We should put Edgework in the middle because I feel like we stick to time there, you know?
Yeah, maybe.
It's a good thing. Also, yeah, the people of the Hammer Daily do want March Madness watch along.
All right.
And also, there's a tweet. So the New York Islanders are playing in Toronto tonight.
Yep.
Schaefer has close to 1,000 people coming into tonight's game in Toronto. His whole family alone will sell out fucking Scotiabank Arena.
Yeah.
He's a future Leaf, though. It's all good.
Good for him. Excited to watch that. Actually, not excited. I'm going to be watching the first four. Fuck that. I'm not watching the Leafs.
I'm going to be watching basketball.
I'm not subjected to that stuff. You know what? No, I lied. What am I saying? The schedule is insane tonight. I'm going to be working the 3 TVs because we got a World Baseball Classic
8
game.
8 o'clock, baby.
8 o'clock tonight. USA. And
Charles in the chat. Remember in preseason, Demidov by Moretto?
That was great
Charles
stuff
in the
there.
chat. Did Moretto cash out of his Celebrini to bet more Demidov?
All right. We got Anthony Dabbundo coming on right now. He's a writer and podcaster about sports over at The Ringer. I know he's also a big baseball fan, a big soccer fan, which I'm excited to close out the show with. A little bit of a secret sauce there. I didn't tell the audience. Anthony, how's it going, my friend?
It's so funny. I just got off a podcast 30 seconds ago, and so I also didn't even see your message about the soccer, but I'm always ready to talk soccer.
Perfect.
Talk soccer. So
Perfect. Listen, Italy was one of the biggest stories of the World Baseball Classic.
They were.
And my ancestors are from Italy, so you know I'm going to be asking you about I'm going to be asking about Italy and the World Cup because there's a little bit of trauma there, but we'll save that for the end of the show. I want to talk to you about the World Baseball Classic first and foremost. Similar to the Four Nations last year, I don't know how big of a hockey fan you are, but a few people were claiming the Four Nations was like a kind of a glorified exhibition tournament. It was like almost an all-star, it's just an all-star game. The games don't really matter. The players don't care. Everyone was saying that, not everyone, but a few people were saying that about the World Baseball Classic this year. Is it safe to say this tournament has now proved those doubters wrong? The World Baseball Classic, it's here to stay. And should it be happening every 2 years instead of every 3 years?
Well, we do have Olympics baseball,
Yes.
2028, which USA, Japan, I assume will be in. DR's in. I think Venezuela qualified as well. So they're going to be playing a big event in 2028. I think every 2 years is good. I'm fine with 3. You can't do it every year, right? That changes a little bit. The main difference between this and the Four Nations is just that Olympic hockey's been around forever. We haven't had international baseball all that much. We hadn't had it before the 2023 edition since 2017. But you're seeing an increased participation rate of the top players, and that's really what drives this. I mean, you go back and look at the 2017 U.S. roster that won the WBC. It was a good team, but it was not anything close to the roster that they have out there now. So that is a good sign. I don't think people have been particularly inspired by Team USA in this tournament. They want more juice, more passion, more energy. I agree with all of that, but it's been great baseball. I mean, they got tuned up by the Italians in that one game, but the Mexico drama at the end, David Bednar coming in to close down your Canadians, and then the semifinal, of course, that epic game with the Dominicans, which comes down to some bad base running and a bad umpire call in the 9th inning. So it's been a fun tournament, certainly. Japan, Venezuela was incredible on Saturday night. Last night's game was competitive, so I'm hoping for a good final tonight, and I think we're going to see a lot of runs early on because I don't really think either starter is particularly good.
I was going to ask you about that a little bit later in the show. Before we get into that, though, favorite story of the World Baseball Classic, is it Italy and their home runs and their espresso shots? Is it Venezuela with like the multiple comeback victories on their way to their first ever finals? What's your favorite story or storyline from the World Baseball Classic?
Yeah, I would say it's probably still going to be Italy, but I could see why people are like, well, they're all just kind of Americans who have Italian ancestry, and so like, why should we care? I don't know. It's still cool to me. One, I made a lot of money betting them, so that was a biased thing for me. Was hoping I get my 75-1 into the finals, but we could not get that to the finals. But yeah, I would say Italy. I am Italian. Aaron Nola is my favorite pitcher in baseball. So watching him shove after having a terrible year last year was good for me as a Phillies fan, as somebody who's excited to watch my actual baseball team in a couple of weeks. Now I feel a lot better about how he's going to pitch this year based on a couple of starts, which maybe is stupid, but also whatever. So I think that was probably number one. Number two, probably Mark DeRosa not knowing that the team had not clinched yet, and just kind of what that means about how they hired him. I don't know if you saw this that went around Twitter, but when they wrote about him in 2023 during that WBC, he said that he would sit on the couch, watch the World Series, and pretend like he was Dusty Baker and Rob Thompson and like manage the game as if he were them. And I'm thinking to myself, if that's what qualifies you to coach Team USA, like I'm in 16-team dynasty fantasy leagues. Like, there's my job. I could at least be the bench coach. So that's kind of my feeling on the whole matter, that DeRosa is going to be kind of the hero of the night. He managed really well against the DR. I'll give him that. But the fact that he almost got knocked out because he's didn't realize they could get knocked out is pretty scary.
Yeah, no, for sure. Anthony Dabbundo, maybe 2030 GM of the Philadelphia Phillies with all this, with all this.
Waiting on the call.
There we go. With all the dynasty experience, I'll be your number one supporter through that. I got you. I'll be in your corner. Let's talk about the game for tonight. You mentioned the starting pitchers being a little bit, I don't want to say weaker, but like these are some stacked lineups. Nolan McLean, Eduardo Rodriguez. We saw both these guys touched up earlier in the World Baseball Classic. Who do you think has like the starting pitching edge here between the two?
It's still U.S. McLean at this point in his career, I know that he had a rough start against the Italians, but what he showed in the second half of the season for the Mets last year, I mean, there's a reason he's the second favorite for Rookie of the Year this year. I'm not sure voters will care, but they might remember if he shoves tonight, right? If he has a big performance, that could help him in the minds of some voters, even if technically that it doesn't count toward the award. But McLean, to me, there are some regression indicators. The swing and miss stuff in the zone is not as elite as his underlying ERA would suggest. There are some signs that maybe we saw an early peak for him and that he could hit a little bit of a slump at some point this year. And I think that is coming. I'd certainly not bet him at 5-1 to win Rookie of the Year, but I think Venezuela's lineup is really deep. It's a really good lineup. I mean, they've got Salvador Perez hitting 8th, Jackson Chourio hitting 9th. Those guys are, one's a legend, one's a MLB All-Star perennial. So this lineup is deep. It's very patient, and it's got a lot of power. So I think it's going to be tough for the U.S. to get through it. And I really don't think Erod has much of a chance against the U.S. lineup. U.S. lineup's been very shaky up and down. They were not great. Even against Canada and Soroka, and then really didn't do much of anything against the Dominican bullpen. So I understand why people are a little hesitant, but 4.5 for me is a little low for the first 5 innings.
All right, we're going to take the over 4.5 in the first 5 there for this game. I want to talk to you about the Venezuela bullpen because I feel like they've kind of been a major factor in these games over in the knockout round. They've been really good, but like, are you worried at all about the rest situation? Sort of playing, was it 2 games in the last 4 days, and now they're going to play a 3rd game today. Are you worried at all about the rest here for these Venezuelan relief pitchers?
I think so. I mean, we don't know, right? I think that's the big question because this is not a Game 7, right? If this were an MLB World Series Game 7, all hands on deck, nobody's unavailable because they pitched yesterday. Like, that's just not how that works. But this is still not quite an MLB game, right? They're not going to let their guys go heavy back to back because that's a risk of injury. That the MLB ball clubs that have these Venezuelan relievers don't want them getting stretched. So you're looking around and you're saying, all right, so who is available? Like, and this was even mentioned. I think it was Ken Rosenthal that reported that Mason Miller might not even be available, right? He had that very taxing inning on Sunday night. The Padres maybe saying, hey, don't push him here. We don't want Mason Miller, the best reliever in the baseball, the best 1-inning pitcher in the sport, to get hurt before the season even starts because he's maxing out for a WBC title that at the end of the day is somewhat of an exhibition. I don't think it's fully, but they're still not the same to these ball clubs that pay these players millions of dollars. So yeah, we don't know. And I think that's the big black box. It's a really hard thing to project. I don't really know what to expect from the Venezuela pen. We've seen the US pen, right? They pitch Saturday. They pitch Monday, they pitch Friday, Sunday. You'd expect the Bednar, the Rogers, the Whitlock, they'll probably be available on a day rest, but we don't know. So it's kind of a tricky thing. It's part of the reason I'm only betting the first 5.
All right, let's talk about the game, the full game itself. Games line -1.5, -128 for the U.S. right now. Totals at 8.5, -118 towards the over. I feel like against the Dominican Republic, everything I sort of heard was that the U.S. was not getting enough respect. Do you think that's continued sort of into the finals here as well, or is this just like instead of the U.S. not getting respected, it's more so that Venezuela's sort of market rating has increased as the tournament's gone on?
Yeah, I mean, the market didn't like us at all against the Dominicans. The U.S. opened, I think, -165 against the Dominicans. Now, these are soft markets, right? And the Dominicans took a ton of money. I mean, the U.S. went off at -118. I saw one book, so I think it was FanDuel. They went off at -118, so it was essentially pretty close to a toss-up by first pitch. So an avalanche of Dominican money. Now, I don't expect that similar with Venezuela here tonight, just because of the pitching situation. Even if Erod is able to reach back and really find something, he's not going to be able to do, I think, what Severino did, which, in credit to him, he reached back and I mean, they showed on the graphic during the game. He was throwing 96 during the regular season. He comes in this game throwing 99. Big difference. I don't think Erod has that in the tank. He's never been a power pitcher. And, for a pitcher who relies so much on command like Erod does, early season, we're still in kind of spring training for him. It's like, I don't know what he's got to really offer this lineup. He can junk ball his way through a lineup, and I wouldn't be shocked, and I'll probably be out money if he throws 5 innings tonight, only gives up 1 or 2 runs. But I think it's a tricky one for him. So, if I had to bet a side here, I'd probably lay it with the U.S. Just because of the bullpen advantage, because of the starting pitching advantage. They do still have a lineup advantage, but I think the market's pretty close to right.
Yeah. All right. Give me the final score of this game. Who do you think's going to win? And give me your MVP.
6-4 USA. And MVP of this game or of the tournament?
So this is the thing. I don't know if you know how it's being voted on, but my understanding is that they heavily weight this last game. It's always come from the winning team. So I would say it's probably 70 to 80% weighted on this game.
It'd be hard to pick against Aaron Judge, but you know what? Give me Kyle Schwarber.
All right, I love it.
Schwarber's a big game player. Am I biased because he's a Philly? Yes. But I'll go Kyle Schwarber. All
right, Kyle Schwarber as the MVP. Anthony, appreciate you giving us the World Baseball Classic stuff. Before you head out here, 2 soccer quick hits. Number 1, we have some Champions League action that's going to be happening very soon. You have to pick one dog to advance to the round of 8. Who would it be and why?
Probably Sporting. We've seen Bodo Glimt have extreme home and away splits in their time in this competition in the Europa League going back to last season. Sporting has enough firepower to pull it off. I really, really want to make the case for Man City, but I don't know if they're explosive enough. And Real Madrid is always going to be able to get one on the counter. City's defense in transition has never really been fixed from their problems from 2 years ago. And so that just opens the door for Real Madrid. I'm still kicking myself. My number said I should have bet it. I know they had injuries, but I was staring at Real Madrid plus 170, 200 to advance. And I was like, this can't be right. And I didn't bet it, and they won 3-0 in the first leg. So I'm still mad about that in that one. I don't think Leverkusen, Arsenal plays this low event style. I do like under 3, minus 124, I think I had in that game. Arsenal Leverkusen, but I don't really see a path for Leverkusen actually advancing unless they find a way on a penalties or something like that.
All right. So Sporting or Man City. Sporting plus 360 to advance. Man City plus 320. Bodo Glimt, though, what a story they've been. Yeah. Should be. They're
going to get Arsenal in the quarters. So that might be the end, but incredible. I didn't think that they would, hold up in this league, and it's not even like they've had these crazy conditions where teams have suffered. The weather was fine when they played Sporting 2 weeks ago or last week. They just ran them off the pitch. So credit to them. Great manager, great system they have in place, and they've done a good job with the scouting. So there's still room for Cinderellas in soccer, even if there aren't in college basketball.
I was gonna say it's March, so we got to see a Cinderella somewhere. All right, close out the show here. You get 4 $100 free bets. You get 4 of them. Okay. I want you to bet on one. I want you to use one bet on each qualification path winner. So who's going to qualify for the World Cup in Path A, Path B, Path C, and Path D? Excuse me.
All right, I need to pull up the bracket real quick to make sure I don't mess this up. I'm going to go with Italy, and I'm going to hate myself for doing this. I think it'll be a mistake and something stupid that I end up doing. But I really don't think Wales is any good anymore. I think they're pretty they're quote unquote golden generation kind of washed out, and it's not a very good team anymore. I will go Poland from Path B. Sweden is the most overrated team in the world. They have not been good at any point in qualifying, so I'm gonna say no thanks on Poland. On Sweden. I'll go Poland over Ukraine in that one. That would be a good matchup, though. Poland has the more sturdy defense in that game. And then I'll still go, but it would be in Slovakia. I'm going to go Slovakia over Turkey. I think Turkey gets to the final, but they have to go on the road in that game to Bratislava. That's a tough road trip. I'm going to go Slovakia. And then Path D, still Denmark. Denmark holds on for one more qualification run. They're going to get the first game in Copenhagen. They'll go on the road, probably to the Czech Republic. I think they're clear favorites against Ireland there. But Denmark at the Czechs. Denmark much, much better defensively than the Czechs. So I'll go Danes. So I said what? Danes?
Italy, Poland, Denmark, and Slovakia.
Yep. and that would put Slovakia in the USA's group if they get there.
And I believe Italy would be in Canada's group as well, which
They would.
all
the Rob Pizzola Classic. Is that what they're calling it?
There we go. There's a town in the Greater Toronto area called Woodbridge, which is just like literally like 99.9% Italian, and it will be absolutely insane.
One of my best friends from college lives in Montreal, so not quite Toronto, but his family's from Italy. He speaks Italian and French, and they're the big Italian community in Montreal as well, from what I've gathered.
Oh yeah, tons of Italians all across in Canada. Anthony, appreciate you joining the show. Thank you for breaking down the World Baseball Classic. We'll chat soon.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome stuff there from Anthony. As always, one's in the chat, as you guys normally do. Let us know. Do us a favor. First of all, smash the like button. Goes a long way. If you're new to the channel as well, hit the subscribe button. Then comment below what you thought so far of the show. All right. Appreciate you guys tuning in. If you're listening on audio forms, do us a favor. Rate and review 5 stars or 4 stars, or just give us a review. Let us know your thoughts. If you don't like the show, let us know. We would like all the feedback we can get, but 5 stars would be greatly appreciated. Shout out to Anthony. Shout out to Alex, So Money, Matt Winick. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to Mike behind the boards for joining me.
Shout out to you, Jay.
And talking through and listening through the entire show. Oh, baby, it's March. And I cannot wait to get into things.
Yeah, we just got a foot of snow last night.
That's great. Yeah.
Oh, baby, it's March.
I was looking at the weather. It's going to be cold. That freaking groundhog, man. That freaking groundhog. Anyways, appreciate you guys tuning in. This has been the Tuesday, March 17th edition of the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Betting Network, presented by our good friends over at FanDuel. We will see you guys right here tomorrow.